There was a follow-up question from this BSOSEJ, just asking about basically resource, Canadian starter resources. So what books, online resources, etc. do you recommend for beginners? Most information is US based, Canadian based resources, please. So, Daryl, I see you smiling. Let me go through my list of resources. And because I think this would be a great little YouTube clip, which is, how do you get started? What is the starting point when it comes to Canadian investors that are just getting in the space? And what I'll start by saying is that on the ethical side, the ESG side, I think it's important to first start with knowledge of basic financial literacy and then layer on the ethical sustainability side. So my favorite resources, if you're just getting started, is number one is always going to be the Wealthy Barber. Now, this isn't necessarily about investing. This is, very much a common sense, really simple financial planning rules, all the basics. He does it in a way that's very, storytelling, very easy to digest, and a little bit sort of funny and cheesy. To me, this is a really, really easy way to start. This is like one of the oldest books in Canada that really dealt with this idea of financial literacy. There is the Wealthy Barber Returns, which I like, which I think is a little bit more sort of, it's not so much a story, it's these little sort of rules and general rules, but again, written in a way that's very accessible. So that to me is number one. From there, I would sort of upgrade you to Shannon Lee Simmons. That, I think that her stuff is just phenomenal. Again, this is not so much investing. This will get into investing basics. But this is going to be her books around, where are they? Here we are. She's got Worry-Free Money and Living Debt-Free. These are two books that I think are absolutely phenomenal. That again, starting point, budgeting, cash flow, the emotions and the anxiety around this. From there, once you have this basic financial knowledge and the literacy, I think this is really good to wrap your head around. Then my go-to resource tends to be the Millionaire Teacher. And this to me is really a guy named Andrew Hallam, which to me is just brilliant. He calls it the 9 Rules of Wealth. Where is it? Oh, does he have it? Yeah, the 9 Rules of Wealth. And I'm going to Amazon here just because it's like the top link. Support your local bookstore if you can. See. But really, this book, Millionaire Teacher, Andrew Hallam is just brilliant. And to me, this now gets into investing and really understanding ETFs and diversification and all that fun stuff. He did a really cool book, which is a little bit of my Bible, which is Millionaire Teacher for Expats. Where is it? Millionaire Teacher, and then if I do it, expats. So this is a guide for people who want to leave Canada, and if you want to like retire in a place where the cost of living is a lot lower, how to build wealth living overseas. And so this is for like Canadians who want to live somewhere else. So these are like incredible guides, incredible books. And then the last thing that for me is a really good one is Larry Bates' Beat the Banks. And this is kind of to me the book that is all about, why banks are ripping you off with mutual fund fees. And this is, the guide to ETFs. It's a short read. It's very simple, but he does a great job of just really kind of like, knocking out why mutual funds are so bad. He's got this thing called the T-Rex score, which shows you, it like does the math for you to see how much of the money you're gonna keep. So if I'm investing 10K, I'm earning 6.4 annual return. If my fees are 1.75, let's knock it up. What's the average? Like 2.25, Daryl? Like 2.25% over 25 years. I'm going to update it that the T-Rex score is 47%, that the bank is going to keep 47% of my money. That after 27 years, based on these assumptions, instead of having, 37K, I'm only going to have, or the banks, no, I'm only going to have 17K. So actually the banks are going to keep more than half of my money in that scenario. So if we can lower your fees down to, let's call it 0.5%, which is a reasonable update for ETFs, all of a sudden now we'll still have that 37K, but we're actually going to keep about 32K. So to me, this is kind of like the next level stuff. From there, really other resources on the ESG side, it really is going to be me and my stuff. And I wish I had like a beginner's guide, but I don't. Maybe that's something I can build in the future. From there, it's going to be, go to my blog, sustainableeconomist.com. I would say there's some great bloggers. Justin Bender is great, Canadian portfolio manager. Canadian couch potato, Dan Bartolotti. They're going to be on the traditional side. And what I've done with my model portfolios is like stolen their ideas and really turned them into sustainable or ethical investing. So, really this would be it. In terms of video or resources, YouTube, I really do like Jessica Morehouse. She does some great YouTube stuff, so she's going to have, about general stuff. Morehouse. That she's got some really really cool stuff. She's got a podcast, she's got YouTube videos. I would say about investing, Canadian taxes, she's just phenomenal, communicates things in a really really good way. Darryl, any other resources like for beginners that you normally point people towards?
I really like The Value of Simple. It's
Nice.
John Robertson,
Yeah,
and it's a nice, compact,
absolutely.
easy to read guide on investing. And it really is what it says. It is a simple approach to investing, which I think just as an industry and as a practice, it gets just sort of totally clouded over with jargon and acronyms and shouting and predictions and all kinds of crap. This book is fantastic at just simplifying things down and giving you just sort of a safe space to get the wheels rolling. Once you get rolling, I think with investing and understanding, keeping it simple is actually a really good way to go.
Yeah.
There's a lot of opportunity for learning. So I think this is a really good guide for anyone starting out.
Amazing. I think this is going to be great.